Welcome to Book Solid, the home service growth podcast. Helping service businesses capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into book jobs.
One emergency call can save a customer's house and quietly cost you 3 perfectly bookable jobs. Picture a plumber's office on a Monday morning. Water is coming through a ceiling, a sewer line is backing up, the phones are ringing, the dispatcher is trying to find an available technician, and everyone is focused on the next urgent problem. Meanwhile, someone is calling for a water heater replacement estimate. Another homeowner wants an HVAC tune-up. A property manager needs maintenance scheduled for several units. Those callers are ready to move forward, but they hear, "We'll have someone call you back." No time is assigned. No one owns the follow-up. By the afternoon, the emergency calls have been handled, but the routine opportunities have quietly moved to another company. That is not always a marketing problem. It is often an intake problem. Welcome to Booked Solid, the home service growth podcast. If you run a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, or other home service business, this podcast is for you. Most service companies think they need more marketing, but the truth is many are losing thousands of dollars every month from missed calls and slow follow-up. On this podcast, we talk about simple systems that help capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into booked jobs. I'm Jeff, and in each episode, I'll share practical strategies you can use to grow your business without adding more complexity or hiring more office staff. Let's get into it. Today, we're separating urgent calls from routine opportunities, so one does not block the other.
The system is simple. 2 intake lanes. One lane is for urgent service. The other is for routine, schedulable work. This is not about telling routine customers that they matter less. It is about giving every caller the right response. An urgent customer needs quick triage, clear expectations, and a fast handoff. A routine customer needs an appointment, a defined callback window, or a specific next action. A single queue sounds fair, but it is not neutral. In practice, it lets the newest interruption decide what gets attention. The loudest problem rises to the top, while quieter opportunities disappear. The goal is not to slow down emergency response. The goal is to protect it while making sure a tune-up, replacement estimate, inspection, or maintenance request still has a path to revenue.
Here's how the first decision can sound on a real call. A homeowner says, "My water heater is old, but it's still working." That is probably routine. Offer a replacement consultation or a scheduled estimate. Now the caller says, "Water is pouring across the floor right now." Different lane. Ask the safety questions, route it for urgent review, and set the best arrival expectation dispatch can actually support. Your team should not need a 20-question flowchart to tell those situations apart. Start with 3 plain language questions. Is there an immediate safety concern? Is damage actively happening right now? Has the customer lost an essential service that requires prompt attention? That could mean a gas odor, exposed electrical danger, active flooding near electrical equipment, a roof leak spreading through a structure, no heat and freezing conditions, or a complete loss of water. Your written policy and local conditions still matter, but the first screen should be consistent and easy to use.
The person answering the phone is not diagnosing the equipment. They are identifying the next level of attention. A useful opening is, "I'm going to ask 2 quick questions so I can get you to the right next step." Then ask what is happening now, whether anyone is at risk, and whether damage is continuing. If the call belongs in the urgent lane, keep the intake short. Capture the customer's name, service address, callback number, the problem in the customer's own words, and the reason it was routed urgently. Then assign an owner. Is it the dispatcher, the on-call coordinator, or the service manager? Someone needs to know that the call is waiting for action. If ownership is unclear, the call is not really routed, it is merely recorded. And be careful with promises. Do not say a technician will arrive in 20 minutes unless dispatch has confirmed it. Fast service matters, but accurate expectations matter too.
Now consider the routine lane. The air conditioner is running, but the house is not cooling well. There is no active leak, no safety concern, and the homeowner still has basic cooling. That may be schedulable.
Ask what the system is doing, when the problem started, and whether the customer prefers a morning or afternoon appointment. If it sounds like a replacement conversation, schedule the right kind of visit instead of sending a general service call. Then offer a choice. We have Thursday afternoon available, or I can arrange a callback from our comfort advisor tomorrow morning. Which works better? That is a real next step. We'll put your information in and someone will call you is not. A routine request could be a tune-up, a planned water heater replacement, an electrical inspection, a roofing estimate, or maintenance for a rental property. Routine does not mean low value. It means the work can be organized instead of handled as an immediate response.
Here is the rule I would put in front of the whole office. Every routine lead leaves the call with one of three things: an appointment, a defined callback time, or an assigned action with a deadline. Not a vague promise. Not a name and number sitting in a spreadsheet. Not a note that says, follow up later. You can use one phrase in both lanes. Let's get you to the right next step. For an urgent caller, that next step may be dispatch review and an arrival window. For a routine caller, it may be booked appointment or a callback from an estimator. This also eliminates the dangerous third lane, the unresolved pile. It is made up of customers who were technically captured but never progressed. Someone will get back to them is a hope. Maria will call them by 2 o'clock is a process.
The handoff record can stay very simple. Ask whether another employee could open it and immediately answer 6 questions. Who is the customer? Where is the work located? What service do they need? Which lane are they in? What happens next? Who owns that action and by when? Those 6 fields are the minimum. Add trade-specific details when they help the next person book or prepare, but do not turn intake into an obstacle course. Use 2 shared labels wherever your team manages calls or leads. Something as plain as urgent review and routine booking is enough. The exact wording matters less than consistent use. Then spend 5 or 10 minutes each day reviewing routine leads that are still open. Which calls are waiting? Who owns them? Did a deadline pass? Can anything be booked now? A short review catches the opportunities that a busy morning tends to bury. You can start this without new software and without hiring another office employee. Write down your definition of urgent using 3 starting points: safety, active damage, and essential service. Have the team review a few borderline examples together. Create the 2 shared labels in the system you already use. That could be a CRM, dispatch board, shared inbox, or call log. The tool is less important than visibility and ownership. Give the team one sentence. I'm going to ask a couple of quick questions so I can get you to the right next step. Require an appointment, callback time, or deadline for every routine request. Finally, listen to a few calls each week. Did the team apply the same urgency definition? Did routine callers receive a real option? Did any leads sit without an owner? That review is not about blaming the person who answered. It is how you find the point where good opportunities are slowing down.
There will be gray areas. A customer may call something urgent because they are worried. Another customer may minimize a serious issue because they do not want an emergency charge. That is why the checklist guides judgment. It does not replace it. When a call is borderline, escalate it to the person responsible for the decision. Then use that example to improve the script. Over time, the team develops a shared understanding. My faucet has been dripping for 2 weeks is different from water is running through the cabinet right now. The air conditioner is making a strange noise, needs a few more questions. There is a burning smell from the electrical panel, deserves immediate careful attention. Perfect classification is not realistic. A common process is much better than 5 employees using 5 different definitions.
Separating the lanes can also reveal a capacity problem. If the urgent lane is overloaded every day, that tells you something about scheduling, service area coverage, pricing, or staffing. If the routine lane is full of estimate requests, you may need a dedicated callback block for an advisor. If tune-ups keep waiting behind emergencies, reserve appointment windows for planned work. The system does not create more technicians. It helps you use the capacity you already have with more intention. And there is a revenue benefit. Planned work is often easier to route, easier to schedule, and easier to follow up on. A tune-up can lead to a repair. A repair conversation can lead to a replacement estimate. An inspection can lead to a planned project. You do not need to pressure every caller. You do need to respect every legitimate opportunity by giving it a timely, appropriate path.
Before you change everything, test this for 1 trade and 1 week. Count how many urgent calls were routed. Count how many routine calls received a real next step. Then count how many of those next steps became booked appointments. You may find that the issue is not call volume. Maybe the office is not offering appointment times. Maybe callbacks are assigned without deadlines. Maybe the calendar has no space reserved for planned work. Those are useful discoveries. You cannot improve a leak you cannot see. So open yesterday's call log and look at the routine leads. How many have an appointment? How many have a specific callback time? How many are simply waiting? That small check can tell you more than another hour spent wondering whether you need more leads. Let's bring it together. Urgent calls need a quick screen for safety concerns, active damage, and loss of essential service. They need a fast handoff and honest expectations. Routine calls need the service request, preferred timing, contact details, and a real next step. That means an appointment, a defined callback window, or an owned action with a deadline. Use 2 shared labels. Review open routine leads briefly each day. Make sure the whole team is using the same definition of urgent. The goal is not just to answer more calls. The goal is to turn more of the calls you already receive into booked jobs. If you want more practical ideas like this, download the free guide, 107 Quick Wins for Home Service Businesses at ProfitPulse.biz. Start with one improvement. Separate the 2 lanes, assign the next action, and see what stops falling through the cracks.
Thanks for listening to Booked Solid, the Home Service Growth Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes where we break down simple systems to help home service companies capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and book more jobs. And if you know another contractor who could benefit from this information, share the show with them. Until next time, keep building systems that turn more calls into booked jobs.